When in a narcissistic relationship, there is only one person who changes massively inside out, and you know it's not the narcissist. Then who is it? Of course, you. You change completely, which is why after a while you can't recognize yourself. But what changes? Everything about who you are, everything you believe in, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you perceive this world. But how? The narcissist's subliminal, subtle, yet insidious abuse makes those changes without your awareness. Let's talk about this further and find out how this happens and what you can do about it in today's episode. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new and have not subscribed already, please do so before we begin, because your subscription to this channel may help in spreading awareness about narcissistic abuse, and that in turn can help a lot of people to recognize what they are dealing with. In this episode, we will talk about 5 ways a narcissist changes you invisibly. Number 1, you lose confidence in yourself and in your abilities. Before meeting the narcissist, you knew what you stood for. You were aware of your abilities, your skills, and your capacity to achieve wonderful things. But the narcissist slowly yet surely eroded your self-worth, your self-concept, and most importantly, your self-confidence levels. Why? Because they needed to make you feel insecure so that you don't pose a threat to them, so that they feel better about themselves. They kept belittling you. They kept pointing out your faults until a day came where you started feeling ashamed of yourself and everything that you stand for. The irony is, you always tried to boost their confidence levels. You always reassured them because they're so insecure. You always told them, you can do it, you have what it takes. But then when it came to you, they left no stone unturned in destroying your capabilities, in convincing you that you are a dumb person, that you do not know anything about anything, that you are a failure. It probably was not said directly, but subtly, that was the constant messaging. That was the constant suggestion given and given and given until your subconscious mind accepted it. Self-confidence comes from self-trust. The narcissist completely destroyed both by attacking your capability to trust yourself. They gaslit you into believing you are not thinking correctly or you're not feeling the right kind of feelings. What did that do? That made you your own enemy, as strange as that sounds. Number 2, they changed you into an anxious personality. You panic about everything now because you're worried about what if that goes wrong. They triggered that catastrophization. You always think about the doomsday, and that does not mean you're crazy. That does not mean you are sensitive. It simply means you have been traumatized so much that your brain now perceives everything as a big threat. You have been living in this survival state for such a long time that your nervous system is overwhelmed. And instead of just going with the flow, instead of enjoying the process, it's always worried about what if the process goes wrong? What if the sky falls? And you're not making it up. You're not crazy. The thing is, the sky that you're worried about falling has fallen before in the narcissistic relationship. You are anxious, you are panicky, you are stressed, all because of the narcissist. They changed who you are as a person, and now your functioning has reduced. It's not all doom and gloom though. I must tell you, the key to changing this panicky, anxious nature is regulating yourself, learning to be in this present moment. For this present moment is going to be the only time you will ever have to deal with. Future is yet to happen. Past you have already dealt with. Orienting yourself in this now, here and now, is the key to deep healing and proper nervous system regulation. Number three, you're always confused about situations. You're overwhelmed, especially about your thoughts. The narcissist convinced you you're thinking in the wrong way. And I need to give you an example here. The right thought was narcissist is cheating on you. They should be held accountable. And they did it because it was their choice. But what did the narcissist do? He or she convinced you they did not want to cheat. They only cheated because of your absence, because of your abuse, because of all the wrong things that you do in the relationship, and because of your destructive nature. And they didn't just say it, they convinced you. They shaped the environment in such a way that you were forced to believe this. Now that you see yourself as the enemy, you have started to question every motive of yours. You say, what if I truly wanted to destroy that person, or I was mean? What if that comment I made was hurtful? What if I was being a racist? What if I was extremely insensitive? What if it is my fault? You naturally, unconsciously though, see yourself as a villain in every situation, and that makes you feel so bad about yourself. That triggers massive depression as well. You want to run to the hills because nobody wants to feel that way. Nobody wants to be a villain, especially if you are a non-narcissist. This overactivation of your conscience unalives you every single time you say something that you ruminate about. Oh, maybe it was inappropriate. Let me tell you this. This is the proof of the fact that you were subjected to extreme form of brainwashing and crazy making. Because you're thinking about everything that you do and say, you can't be the culprit here. Narcissistic abusers do not care about how what they say or do impact others. They only care about the outcome. One or the other way they have to get it. For example, in this case, they had to escape from taking responsibility. They had to project their shortcomings, their wrongdoings on you. So they did it by changing the narrative, by playing Darwa on you, denying the attack, reversing the roles of victim and offender, by projecting you as the offender in all situations. This is what exactly happened, and this is what you need to release now. You are not the villain. You are not the predator. You are not the monster. Number 4, you have now become an introvert. Introversion in itself is not a problem. I am a big time introvert. I always was. I can tell you that. That's my personality. But I have seen people who were extroverts. They love to go out, socialize with people, talk, express themselves, connect with people, But after experiencing narcissistic abuse, they just don't want to do anything with people. They do not want to talk. They do not want to make friends. Partly because they don't trust others and they don't trust themselves. They don't know what others are going to do to them. And they're so grief-ridden, so filled with pain that they do not know how to interact with people normally now, because every interaction with a narcissist was beyond abnormal. They prefer spending time with pets, with books, with other things, or spending time with people they so dearly loved, their own family. And people think, oh, they have become arrogant now. They're so full of themselves. Oh, she or he is so weak for not moving on. But who knows what you're going through? Who knows that you're constantly hypervigilant, walking on eggshells, worried about what you might say and how that might hurt other people, that you see yourself as the enemy, that you struggle with every single moment. And your day is extremely heavy. You always try to find a reason to continue because the narcissist gave you every single reason to let go. Number 5, and the most painful change. You always feel exhausted and tired, no matter how much you rest. You don't have energy to deal with life, and that has impacted your overall functioning. You go to work because you have to earn money to live, but you're always pushing yourself. Sometimes even brushing your teeth becomes a big task. It becomes a mountain that you have to move. You were not like this. You were full of life. You used to do a lot of things at once. You were known for your work, but now you just keep it balanced. You somehow perform enough for you to keep going. That zest, that enthusiasm, that spark that you had, it is lost. You're exhausted not because you're lazy. I want you to understand this deeply. You are exhausted because your overall system of the body is exhausted, particularly your nervous system. You have been running this marathon of survival for years, and now after years you're being told to rest. Would a day or even a week or even a month or months be enough to deal with that kind of tiredness? And time alone does nothing when it comes to healing this chronic state of fatigue. Your adrenals are stuck in a trauma state. So definitely you need to know what to do about them. You need to give your body all the resources, all the supplements, all the techniques that you can give to heal. This is a very complex state that you're trying to heal from. So what should you do about it? First, take one step at a time. This is what I did in my healing journey, and sometimes when it gets tough with my health, I do the same thing. I don't push myself. I don't say, oh, now I'm supposed to be okay. No. What I have been through has left a mark. So of course, here and there I will have ups and downs, and I will do everything in my capacity to offer myself the ease, the kind of ease I never had access to before. I request you to do the same. Give it some time. Do some inner work. Approach your healing holistically. A pill dispensary attitude won't fix you. You need to learn more about somatic experiencing, somatic work, somatic trauma, how your body keeps the score of the stress you have been through, and so on. And that is how you will let go of the tiredness. So that is it for today's episode. I hope you found it insightful. If you did, let me know in the comments. Also, make sure to become a part of the workshop I am doing on how to break a trauma bond with a narcissist in 5 practical steps. You can book your spot now because it's happening on March 9 within a couple of days. Click the I button above or the link in the description of this episode, and I will see you on the other side. Until next time, let the healing begin and continue.